first of all. So a few pointers from my side, and after that you ask questions and I will answer. First thing I will say that this is an exam, as per my understanding, nobody, or at least very few people will be knowing more than 45 questions out of 100. So you have to be smart, you have to eliminate options, and this practice cannot be done directly in the exam. You have to try this beforehand to eliminate options by seeing coaching institute answers, okay, but mainly UPSC. 2011 onwards, those UPSC papers will be your Bible, 2011 to 2018. Elimination. Okay, so that is one thing. Suppose like one guy is there, he has come up with a bullet as well as some other strategy, and you are going only with the knowledge. So you will not be able to counter him. That is why I am saying you have to counter with both knowledge as well as the smart strategy. The hard work and smart work, that is the key to success. And when we talk of smart work in prelims, that smart work is in the minimum knowledge also you have to clear. All of you are with maths optional. You have a golden opportunity to clear maths optional, IFoS pre, and you will be at edge with others because you have maths optional. You will score well. All the scores will be around the 250, 230, 270 at that range. Forestry you can complete in 50 days and you can get a good service. That is first thing. Second thing is complete one source of everything rather than two sources of same thing. What I mean to say, that when we do polity, or suppose spectrum we are doing for modern India, economy, somebody will say in market, array Murnal lecture is good, but another guy will come and say Shankar Ganesh is good, another guy will say some third material has come. So rather than doing two material of the same subject, the first focus has to be that you do all the matters from a single source. For this, what I adopted, I will let you know, and if you want, you can adopt that. I call this as a concentric circle approach, because like this idea when I saw one quote, the smaller my circle is, my aim is clearer. Okay, I mean, I am not able to recall the words, but what the idea was. So you see, polity. Now I gave example of economy, I will start from that. Suppose somebody has started with economy Murnal, that's okay, Murnal. Okay, so next moment his friend will come and say, arey yaar, Shankar Ganesh is good, questions are coming from that. But if you are already done, then keep Murnal in your first circle, put Shankar Ganesh here. Okay, and suppose there is another source, suppose Sri Ram economy is there, and you know that you cannot do all, but today you have that mind. After 1 week, somebody else will go Sri Ram. So in that way, what you do? You put Sri Ram economy here, the third circle. So it's not that you are throwing out everything, but you are saying yourself, I'll confine myself first circle. So what happens? Polity, Lakshmikant, geography, 11th NCERT, history modern, test. You target yourself that I will do 20 tests, I will analyze them. I'm not saying 100 tests. 100 tests may not be humanly possible, or even if it's possible, that revising 3 times, it may be done as a latter attempt. In first attempts and all, doing 100 tests becomes very difficult. Okay, so you can say 20 tests, giving, analyzing, revising, all 3. It cannot be that you are giving 2 tests and you are not analyzing them, because in giving a test you are giving 2 hours of test, 4 hours of analysis. So there is a 6 hours investment in that. If you are not revising the same earlier to prelims examination, it will be waste. So that is one thing. So you have to say to your mind that this particular circle I will complete by 15th April, 15th March, 15th May or whatever. Set your targets. Get your hours done that yes, approximately. Okay, this will be taking 20 hours, 30 hours, 80 hours or whatever. So that way you have to do, and it should not go beyond like plus minus 20%. So that means there is a problem in planning. Either you are overestimating, underestimating, or your execution is weak. So that's one thing. So this is one thing I told. That is one elimination. Then, okay. Regarding prelims, other than that, current affairs also. When I said a second source, so when you are doing the second source, this particular source should be revised, memorized, and you should be able to say all the answers of that. For example, what will happen when you do Shankar Ganesh, this is a 100-page book, and this is 90 page, this is 120 page. So when you do this, you should be able to strike off. Suppose some two current affair materials is there, XYZ, ABC. This is 100 pages. This is 120 pages. Okay. So when I say do one source properly, that means you should do 100 pages. This 100 pages will have 200 topics. So when you do this ABC material, you should be able to say that, okay, out of these 200 topics, 150 has been read. You should have a confidence that yes, simultaneous election. You saw the heading, simultaneous election. So you have to have a confidence that yes, I am not going to read this because I remember everything from one source. So that is how these 120 pages will convert to 30 pages, and in 130 pages you covered two sources. Rather than doing 220 pages, what happens the problem I'll tell you. First we do one source, without revising that we go to second source, and when we do the second source, in that one again we highlight the same points which had been highlighted earlier. Mind captures something from images also. Sometimes we don't remember that, okay, this particular thing was written that side of that page. So from there also we remember. In Lakshmikant, there was a difference between money bill and normal bill. In the third point it was written, prelims or mains or whatever these things do, because it's our mind. We cannot do everything like that way. So that's one thing. One more prelims strategy which I just remembered, that some things are there, map based. So you take blank maps of India, okay, and like that's what I did. Suppose map of India is there. So in that one, Arunachal Pradesh is there. So you write, okay, this much forest area is there, or Kerala, the dance is Kalari Payattu, or Bihar, Sujni embroidery. Okay, I'm just saying for examples. So what will happen that in one way in that particular map you will be able to in the examination hall you will say, okay, it was there in my that page, where it was. Even if it is above, you remember that it is in this area, you will be able to mark Bihar. Suppose they are not given Bihar, UP as an option. If they have given Kerala, Bihar, Jammu Kashmir and Arunachal Pradesh as option, you will easily say. So I am saying it is best to remember one on one. That means this is this and input, output. But that's not always possible. So what you have to do, you have to act smart. Sometimes you remember, okay, this part of page, it was available in that area. So that is one thing I will say. Okay, and then you guys ask, in between I will remember some more strategies, then I will share. Any questions?
What is the timeline for these last few months? What do you suggest for these last few months?
Timeline will depend on totally you, because there is no fixed strategy. All of us come from. I'm coming on to that. So what happens? Some of us are more prepared with prelims. Some of us are less prepared with prelims. But you have to 100% ensure that you are in. Okay. For that, as many hours required, that many you have to do. First thing. Second is we have to plan it this way. Like you will say, like when we see material, that Murnal PDF is available, or how many lectures are gonna come, that we get in mind. So you write Murnal 80 hours, Polity 40 hours. So like that you will do a summation. You know your limits. At most you will do 8 hours prelims, or 10 hours or 12 hours somebody can do. So that way. So you divide that and get into the days and plan it. What I suggest, that keep at least 2 subjects per day. Don't make the subject longer, because it decreases the efficiency. So that is how it can be. So your first thing has to be that prelims. Yes, prelims I have to get it anyhow, because now the months are very close. So if this particular calculation needs you 5 hours a day, good enough. Give 5 hours, give 2.5 hours to maths. If this particular calculation says you 8 hours, then give 8 hours. So that is what I wanted to say. And it has to be custom built strategies. It cannot be in general. What I did, that like this is one for prelims. This I made for all also. Like I just say, okay. So pre, I'll give 3 hours a day. GS mains, I'll give 2 hours a day. Maths, I'll give 4 hours a day. That was a typical routine of mine prior to pre. When pre comes nearby, I make that ratio 60-40, then I make that ratio 70-30, and in the last month of prelims, I'll make that ratio 100%. So that is how it is. And for me, like I was 100% determined. In fact, when I selected maths optional, having maths optional was one basic reason why I selected maths optional, because I was graduated in 2010. We had maths till 4th semester. So 2008, I last read maths. And that too, you know, in engineering what we read in maths. And it was the decision in 2016. So total 8 years of gap. So I mean, it will be like no common thing, nothing. I was working 6 years, so no contact with books. So in that way, if I say that I took maths optional, which is one of the heaviest optional, so what was the this motive? Forest service. And if you get into forest service, you get into confidence, next year you can do well in IS. In fact, once the syllabus is completed, you will get both calls at the particular year also only. Okay. So that's why I will say prelims, then mains, then maths, you can distribute some that way. Anything else? Any other questions? Give me some links, I can remember my strategy, because I have not prepared something, so I can tell you. The gap areas identification is a key. That is one I'll say.
Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, what was your strategy for mathematics optional?
Yeah. Mathematics optional, my strategy I will tell. Paper 1. In fact, one key thing I like to share, that is why I said in one video also, that for maths optional people, after prelims, if something, I mean, if prelims is in your this circle, next circle should consist 4 chapters: complex analysis, LPP, PDE, and NACP. Why I am saying this? Because you can see my scores. I have got 119 in paper 1 out of 200 and 133 in paper 2. I am talking about forest service. That's what the marks available at present. Okay. And my attempts in paper 1 was more than paper 2, because scaling is more. Okay. So mathematics paper 2 in civil services, people are scoring 90 also, and people are scoring 180 also. So that margin, if you want to create, and the real benefit of maths if you want to take, that is paper 2. So what I will say, that those 4 chapters are a must. Before going to anything else, all question types of those 4 papers you have to do. Suppose somebody wakes you up in the sleep and says, what is the contour integration first type problem? You should be able to say, because contour integration one year or the one form or the other, every year it is coming. So sometimes what happened, in order to we are targeting modern algebra, the UFD and all type of problems, and sometimes we are not able to do that time bound situation, this particular problem. So that is why I will say, I am not discouraging to study modern algebra, I am just saying first things first. I mean, like we breathe, the air is the first thing, then we want water, that is the second thing, then the luxuries of life or some basic necessity like we used to say roti kapra makan and all, and then we say of bench decks or education, health, etc. So that is what I am saying, these 4 chapters will be your breathe, and 2 chapters each section from section A of paper 1 and paper 2, that will again be your breathe, because dynamic statics you will be little less confident because they are asking questions also very remote. Okay. So then ODE and vector, you have to be confident that yes, any question comes. See, sometime when we read less about some topic, okay, some unseen question comes in the examination, we feel, oh, we have read less, that is why we are not able to attempt. It was in my knowledge domain, it has been framed differently, but because I am little less confident on me, so that little less confidence has to be eliminated for at least 8-10 chapters in mathematics, and others you can do basic problems. That is what my strategies was there. Also, one thing I would like to share, I did not get mains interview call this time. So in this particular, I had like this much books for maths civils option, and when I came out I realized that no, this is not the correct thing. Almost 60% of the book I kept out in carton and packed it, and those 40% books I kept in, and I tried doing all problems of those books, because the question types, it is very easy to score in maths optional if you are remembering all the question types. That is what I did in forest service mains, and I was not able to do in civil services mains, that is why I did not get interview call. Yes, I hope I answered. Anything specific for prelims, like how many tests should be given, or like there is a
फैक्चुअल थिंग होते हैं, फैक्चुअल थिंग होते हैं, जैसे कि गवर्नमेंट स्कीम हो गई,
yes,
या कोई भी फैक्चुअल करंट अफेयर है,
yes,
उसे याद रखने के लिए क्या करते हैं?
see, okay, I will say one thing. What I did, I will try giving example, okay, of 2 things, numbers and trends. Okay. Like we have constitutional bodies, okay. So that is one fact, that who is appointed by whom, okay. So like I had made code HIV 633, okay. So it is, I mean that is one thing, I like numbers, so I used to make numbers and mnemonics, and CIC, CVC, okay. So now in NHRC there will be 6 people in the appointing body, in CIC there will be 3 people, and in CBC there will be 3 people, okay. Now in my notes I remember it is written like this, and for the first and second it is I think minister, and in this one minister nominated by PM. I mean I am not able to recall the things at the moment, but this is how you remember the things, okay. So you can make simple mnemonics, and the advantage of this will be that you know this is HIV is not constitutional body, they are a statutory body. So you will not have any doubt also, because you remembered them in that area. Another example I will say, that when I made notes of environment, then like initially I made all the UN bodies, and then I made the other than UN bodies. So which helped me to know that yes, even if I see, best thing is remembering, that if you remember well, that is 100% good, but if we don't remember well, in that case what we have to do. So in that case what I did, that okay, even if I in the examination I remember that this particular thing was in this part of my notes, I remember that is not UN. I mean there are some things what they ask generally, okay. So okay, I came on this to say there are some big ticket items like these constitutional bodies or indices or the modern India, we have acts 1793, 1813, 1833. So in that one, I made tables. Okay, so suppose this is NHRC, this is CIC, this is CVC. Okay, this way. Okay, so appointment, salary, or something. So when we are revising, we have to revise this two way. How? Appointment, you read it like this, and then next time when you are revising, you revise like this. So this particular item, when it comes in examination, your mind will create that node. So what I used to think that it's a node sort of thing. In our mind, if it remembers this way, well and fine, I am able to answer. If it remembers this way, I am able to find. If I need comprehensive thing of NHRC, I will try remembering this. If the appointment of relatively, we have to know that yes, NHRC is there, CIC is there, CVC is there. So in this node, I will try to remember. So that is how when you try revising in the sense. And one thing I will say, two things you can do. One, if you are little confident, teach someone. So that is how you remember. And when we teach someone, that time we realize, okay, this particular background info I did not have. So you will check again. So that is one thing. And second thing is, when you revise, you put a hand on this, okay, and then you say, okay, no, this way. So that way, when you remember, you question yourself, you answer yourself, then you remember more. So that's how you can do. One more approach I can say, like this is not only for prelims, this is for everything. Suppose I have Lakshmikant book. If I give you 10 days to revise, if I give you 5 days to revise, if I give you 5 hours to revise, you should know. Like before examination, if we don't revise something 5 days before examination, we have a confidence fear. Arey yaar, I could not revise Lakshmikant. That is not required. Out of this thick book, they are asking only 1 page. It is the confidence with which you have to go in. Okay, so that is what I did. I will share that approach, how I did. In the first reading, or when my exam is away, I will use yellow highlighters. Okay. When exam is 1 month away, I will use green. And when exam is tomorrow or this particular week, I will use blue. I mean, this is just a symbolic. I am just saying you to differentiate that if particular 100 pages of 100% of the book is there, 60% will be highlighted this color, 30 this color, 5% this color. Okay. So what happens that suppose you have, I give you 10 days to revise, you revise everything. I give you 5 days to revise, you revise this. If I give you 5 hours to revise, you have to revise this. Not everything. Many times, like in mathematics, what we study, this is what we call convergence or limit. So like limit time tends to 0, limit time tends to 0, this particular function we have to get a finite value. Okay. So in this particular case, time is tending to 0 and your memory has to be same. So that finite number is being divided by the 0. So your output has to come this way. So with minimum time, maximum revision. So that is one thing I said you. What I adopted the strategy, you know that. And like I say, if one yellow thing you have highlighted, if you put green on that, it overshades yellow. So that is one thing was why I put this way. Okay. Then tell me anything like you want to ask. Answered, no? 2-3 approaches what I did. Tabular approach, teach someone, question yourself, and like with minimum time, how you will revise. Pre-clear test series, like I'll not say the name, but I'll say you, there are people who do 20 tests also and they get forest pre-clear. There are people who will do 100 tests also get clear. So you decide your first circle. In that first circle, you put 15-20 tests. That's enough, and then you do it.
टेस्ट सीरीज किसके कोचिंग अच्छा रहेगा, जैसे विजन का, इंसाइट और समथिंग?
Like, okay, I'll.
एक्चुअली मैंने पिछली बार विजन का मैंने कर रखा था, तो मैंने ऑलरेडी कर रखा है, तो क्या उसी को रिवीजन करें कि किसी और कोचिंग का रेप्लिकेट समथिंग?
No, test series a bit it changes every year, and in fact 2018 they asked questions very differently. I don't know what is coming in market now, so don't bog down with the test series. But I will say in terms of test series, chalo, one more thing I will say you. Okay, so what I mean to say, I am just trying to do, if I had not cleared pre, what will I do? That may not be the best thing, but that's what I am saying. So did you do 2011 to 18 previous year questions? So you will able to identify some patterns, and that helped also. Okay, and like one thing I would say, that ancient medieval previous year prior to 2011 also you can go. So that is one thing, and any one test series you pick up and you do that. Okay, and okay, how many of you gave prelims before? And like any one of you could not clear? Okay, so I'll share something in that part also. Okay, and in fact when you analyze test series, how you will analyze that also I will tell. Okay. Every time we have to think in two aspects. Knowledge gap and temperament error. Knowledge gap is there if something is asked from my first circle and I am not able to answer. That's knowledge gap. Or a particular information I don't know. So first answer that. Another one is temperament error. That with the same knowledge my friend was able to do, but I was not able to do. Why? Because I did not think in that direction. In fact, when we come out of examination hall, for everyone, almost everyone, the case is either 3 or 4 questions, people will say, "Arey yaar, I knew this, but I could not do that." Okay, so that is what I call temperament error. So you have to do in that case that yes, temperament you have to maintain. For that, if your temperament error is more than 2 questions and it is consistent, I mean every time you make 2+ questions error, so in that case you decide that you have to go at center and write test, at least 5 tests you write. So, and you say every time to yourself, in fact before entering the examination hall, I may not clear pre, but I will not make these errors. If I am not able to, if we don't learn from our mistakes, that is one big thing. So temperament error, I have seen my friends, everyone clearing forest pre and everything. So that's what happens. In temperament errors is 2+ questions. In that case it is disastrous. So that is what we have to say every time to yourself, we are not going to make this mistake. Like 2017, I had marks of prelims. Okay, so the marks improvement is not much, but the paper was little difficult. So this marks improvement get me clear forest pre. So what I did in 2018 different from 2017. When I came out of examination hall, and after 2017 mains, I found my gap areas. My gap area was environment. So that gap area, first of all, I attacked. That's one thing. That is what knowledge gap is. Second thing, temperament thing. In 2017, I marked, one question was there, local self-government. And I marked that direct democracy. So I don't know how many times I have said this to myself that no, I am not going to make that type of mistake again. I may not clear pre, I may not do anything, but I will not make that mistake again, that particular type of mistake. And I could sense that every one of us has some, like you may have some 50 types of error that we make. Somebody may have 10 types of error. So if we eliminate those errors, we are in, because it is a relative exam. So that is one thing. So temperament error, I kept saying myself in 2017 what I not answer, and in 2018 I got good marks. Good evening. Good evening.
Sir, like you said, there are certain patterns and prelims, and I would just like to know about the art and culture part. Like there are some questions which are being asked year on year, like some question would definitely be there on Jainism and Buddhism. It was also asked in 2018, like Sthanapvasi and Maitreya. And also I would like to ask about environment and ecology.
Yes.
How to answer those type of questions, like they are asking questions where not from current affairs side, but more from the previous developments. Like this year, 2019, there was a question on page. It was the development of 2012. So how to answer those type of questions?
Okay.
And also related to wildlife sanctuary, if you can answer.
Yes, I'll try. That is one. That was one strategy. Now you told, then I remembered. First, art and culture. Art and culture, see, many a times in prelims, mains, interview, things will happen that you will say, okay, how to do this, how to do that. But that's what I'm coming to. You have to do some things and believe yourself. Like in Three Idiots, Amir Khan used to say, all is well. You have to say all is well. You do one source and you say all is well. So in this one, history part, you can put art and culture, class 11th NCERT, if somebody has not done yet. If somebody has done their source, stick to that. Keep that one source. You have to say yourself that I will not make mistakes from that source. Okay. Again, you are saying page. That shows anxiety that, okay, out of those 100 questions, 15 questions were like that, which were very weird. But see what the cutoff was, only 60 questions. Those 15 questions don't make difference, neither in pre, neither in mains, neither in interview. Some questions I did not ask in, answered in interview, but I got 190. That's what they are not checking. In prelims also, it is a relative exam. I mean, a person sitting besides you is not able to answer page, you are not able to answer page, you are in equal footing. But if you are not able to answer a particular easy question of polity, like Rajya Sabha or something parliament, then you are out. So that's what I am saying. And what to do, I will say. So first of all, you said art and culture. If you are more concerned, I mean, after 11th NCERT, what you can do, Nitin Singhania, the chapters are there. At the back of it, previous year questions are asked questions are there. So what you can do, all those chapters from which they have asked. See, I mean, you have maths optional. Like my friends used to say, did you read this? I said no, because I have maths optional. I will say simply. So that's what I am also saying, minimum effort. So in Nitin Singhania, you see those chapters from which repeatedly questions have been asked. Those chapters, bold letters. So those bold letters, you do it. Figures. So that way we can relate the memory, and in maximum, in minimum effort we can get maximum. If you can remember the whole book, that is well and fine. But remembering and reproducing in the examination is a difficulty. So I am saying minimum. So that 11th NCERT and some chapters from Nitin Singhania, the basic thing. Again, my warning is, when you go for Nitin Singhania, you should know each and every word of 11th NCERT. So that answers the art and culture part. The second part is environment. First, I will answer wildlife sanctuary. What I did. You go to NTCA website. And this I am saying because the examination is 100 days away, I mean 90 days or whatever away. Okay, this I will not say if the examination is 15 days away. Okay, right now you have time, you can invest some time in that. Go to NTCA website, there is a India map, and in that 50 tiger reserves are given. Okay, so like it blinks, so you take a snapshot, okay, and that's what I did. And the northern area, you take a snap, eastern area, western area, southern area, northeastern area, you take one each snap. Okay, then go to WII website. Okay, and those national parks will be there. There will be common things which are there, tiger reserve also, national park also, everything. So that area is okay, shown in map. And don't do everything in one day. Give things a time, progressive learning. So that is one I forgot to mention. You should have progressive learning. Earlier I mentioned also you should have 2 subjects a day. It's some kind of progressive learning rather than do one thing, your that concept settle down in your mind. Next day when you read, that rebuilds on that. So in that way. So coming back to this NTCA website and WII website, you see that those national parks where they are. Okay, I will clarify this with example. When I did NTCA website last year, there was Pakke Tiger Reserve. Okay, this was 50th Tiger Reserve. Okay, so this gave me curiosity. Oh, this is 50th Tiger Reserve. So that becomes important because now we have 50th Tiger Reserve. It was added 1 or 2 years back. I did some search. The question came, Pakhui Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay, I did not remember where it was, but somewhere in the hint site it was something related to Pakke or that relation. I mean, the relation was not that strong in my memory, but I remembered. And the options were the helpful guy, Arunachal Pradesh. You got +2. That's what is required. If you want to get 118, that is where you have to score. Okay, so the approach will be go to NTCA website, the whole India map. You take 5-6 snapshot, take a printout. Go to WII website. You will have list of national park. Don't go to wildlife sanctuaries. You will not be able to do it. There are 543 in India. So not required, give it to all is well. Okay, so 104 are there. Whatever you can, just mark them. Okay, it is here, this is here, this is here, that way. And that will suffice your preparation because other way we are doing the reverse and other thing. So from that you should be able to answer both. Anything I missed?
Sir, how to could we prepare just in advance about Jainism and Buddhism, like?
Sorry, Jainism, Buddhism I missed. And this again I will say, I am assuming the prelims is 90 days away. Jainism, Buddhism, every year they are asking. And I did A.L. Basam book. A.L. Basam book is there. I don't remember the title, but it's there. No need to buy the book, full book, and no need to do the full book. Some of your history optional friend will be there. Take Xerox of that chapter, read that chapter. It's cost effective. Every year they are asking. This year I think they asked 2 questions.
Yes, Stanakwasi and
Maitreyi. So Maitreyi I 100% remember it's there in that. Asthanakwasi also I marked. I don't remember where I read, but I read somewhere. So that is one thing. If exam is 90 days away, you can do that. Any other queries? Okay.